Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Future, of course. This is LaTrease.
Hi.
LaTrease always gonna be on here.
I'll just pop in.
Yeah, she's like special guest. The LaTrease and I are going to tell you guys how we got a mutual client with the Below-500 credit score in a position to purchase a property at $800,000.
Yay.
No, not yay. It's nothing
Below
yay.
500?
It was below 500.
Mhm.
Below
800,000?
800,000.
You mean $800?
No. No, 800,000. So LaTrease and I have a mutual client. We love her to death, love her down. She decided that she was going to sell her home and combine households with her parents. We get her home on the market, beautiful homes. She's quite the homemaker, and get her parents' home on the market. Everything goes pending, and in the midst of their properties going pending, we find a home. So everything was rolling like it should have been rolling. I call LaTrease because LaTrease was working as the loan officer.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell LaTrease, hey, I found a property for our client. LaTrease is super excited because we go way back with this client, like way back. And
it was a full circle moment.
It was a full circle moment. Did I meet you on that transaction?
Yes.
Like, I literally met LaTrease on that transaction, and that has like turned into everything that you guys see. Soul Sisters.
We met a little bit before then because I referred her to you.
Okay.
That was my first referral deal that I sent to you.
You know, we met with that woman in Inkster.
Okay.
Who gave me the business.
Okay.
And that's when you was like, you a soldier in the army of the Lord.
Yeah.
Because she gave me the business.
You stood out. You
Yeah.
stood out. You definitely stood out. I was like, oh, she go hard for her clients. So
it was a full circle moment because you introduced me to that particular client, and we closed the deal with her before. I had done like multiple deals with her at that point, but this was like the biggest deal that I had done as far as like the home she was purchasing, her selling her property, and her parents selling their property.
3 deals.
Credit was tight. Was able to get pre-approved. Once we go under contract with the home that we found, that was $800,000, and I had negotiated the heck out of that deal. LaTrease calls me and tells me, what did you tell me, LaTrease?
I said, the score dropped. The score dropped.
And I'm like,
No
okay.
big deal. We're just going to pray.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, the score dropped. How bad did the score drop? LaTrease tells me she's calling a meeting. That me, her, and the client, we need to sit down, meet, and pray.
Yeah.
And pray?
Pray.
And
for
pray.
A credit score.
Yes, we prayed. We prayed over that credit score.
It had got bad. That credit score had dropped. And it was no fault of her own.
It was happening to a lot of people.
Yeah, it was happening to a lot of people. I got student loan debt. I have a master's degree in business. LaTrease has a master's degree. And this particular client, she's very educated. So when we went into COVID, they put all of our student loan debts and they put my student loan debt in forbearance.
Everybody, they pretty much put everybody's student loan for the most part in like a COVID forbearance, like automatically, whether you ask for it or not.
Yeah.
And what they didn't do is call people and tell them that they were coming out of COVID forbearance. So a lot of my clients,
it wasn't just her,
got hit with student loan rates out of nowhere, where literally in January, your credit report showed that you were on time. And then February or March, it shows that you're 90 days late. Mathematically, it doesn't even make any sense because how do you go from being on time to 90 days late the very next following month?
Right.
Oh, wow.
But if you have more than one student loan, every single one of those accounts got hit with a 90-day late. So one late will drop your score 100 points. So imagine having multiple from whether, and then if your loans weren't consolidated, so now you got your undergrad student loans, your grad student loans, like all of them getting hit with 90-day lates out of nowhere.
So this person, they went from a what to a what?
I'll say their score probably dropped every bit of 200 points.
Yeah, she was in good shape.
At least 200. It was to the point where it did not qualify at all.
Wow.
Like nobody would have been able to touch it or do anything with it. So it was just like it got real because all of the deals were already under contract. All of the houses were either sold or selling. So it's just like
one of the main homes where it would have been extremely disappointing, her parents' house. The house was sold.
Yeah.
Like they were they had their occupancy period where they were just living in the property waiting for the new home to close, and her home was getting ready to close.
Wow.
We had like worked out all of the kinks. Her home it wasn't an issue, but we had lost a deal, got another deal, and made that deal work. The second deal, appraisal came back flawless. Nothing came back on the FHA inspection.
Wow.
Like everything was lining up, and then we get the situation with the house. So in the midst of the deal, essentially falling apart because she didn't qualify, we started having some issues because, like we said, the larger of the 3 homes, or the 2 homes, had sold, and title was holding the money. This was just a whole journey.
It was.
Because the parents came back and we had some issues with the down payment amount. Not really the monthly payment amount, because she was fine with that, but the down payment amount, where I had already negotiated the deal down by like $70,000.
I was about to say at least 50, yeah.
It was either $50,000 to $70,000. I had to negotiate that deal down another $50,000 to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
Ask and you shall receive, because I remember when you and I was bugging the hell out of you.
Hold on, you can't skip over that. You said you got them to bring it down 70,000, and then
it was 50. I got them to bring it down $50,000. I wrote the offer $50,000 below list price, and it's a story behind that too. I had already submitted an offer for that property, the $800,000 property,
with somebody else.
Another client of mine. We went under contract. We could not. Something as small as occupancy, we could not come to terms on the occupancy. Another house popped up in the market in that area. My client, that was about $70,000 cheaper. It was $50,000 cheaper, and we got it for $730,000. She was like, "Let's see this property." When we saw it, she said, "Kill that deal," and we ended up buying the house for $730,000. Mm-hmm. She was paying essentially cash for that property. So this go around, I already knew, like, y'all had a higher offer, because I had originally offered around $800,000, like list price, because they had dropped the price down some.
And they weren't really, they weren't willing to negotiate occupancy.
Deal died.
Mm-hmm.
So they ended up
losing money
because they could have got the offer for $800,000, which at that time was still $30,000 less than the list price, but they could have gotten it. They had an offer for $800,000, but they could not come to terms on occupancy, and ended up selling it for $750,000, because that was the number, $750,000 to make the deal work. So when we couldn't reach terms on the down payment amount, like I said, ask and you shall receive. I went to the listing agent. I already knew what the situation was, that they had already lost the deal because we couldn't come to terms. Mm-hmm. I asked them. Originally they said no. They came back with land contract terms, like seller financing, for $20,000 of it. My client said no. And then we settled on the $750,000. But in the midst of that, the credit is still low.
Right. I'm like, negotiations don't matter. You can't get the loan.
Nobody knows that the deal is nobody else knew. But we are confident, and we are standing. Yeah, we're standing steadfast that this deal is going to close.
We prayed a fervent prayer, so we knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of
I had to do something. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat. Like, how did y'all fix that?
LaTrease is a beast at what she does.
I really like the shit when it comes to credit. I don't know, like, I shouldn't say that, because I always say, like, I don't know, like, God's favor is real.
Yes.
Because I'm not doing anything most of the times any different than most other people that are doing, doing credit repair are doing. I'm just very strategic with what I do. Like, I get everything notarized. I make sure everything is an affidavit. Like, I just have a lot of checks and balances in place just to make everything that I submit.
What did you do?
I submitted a complaint. I submitted a bunch of arguments, I utilized the CFPB, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. I'll use the Better Business Bureau. I'll go to the Attorney General. Whatever I have to do. I was getting ready to write the state Attorney General because we had to get this deal closed. So, I mean, you have levels, and I attack all of them if I have to.
She attacked very quickly. Yeah. So she attacked at every level, and the score started creeping up. So we went from a space to where she didn't qualify at all. And then she qualified for FHA. Mm-hmm. They were only accepting cash and conventional.
No.
I got the listing agent to agree to let my contractors go over to rectify any FHA repairs. I spent about $2,000 on FHA repairs. My client spends $1,000 on FHA repairs because that was the only way we can get them to agree. Mm-hmm. They do the repairs. They sent another FHA appraiser out to check the repairs that work for the same company. And he comes back with more repairs.
So stressful.
At this point, like...
You in it now.
Yeah.
But it's so stressful because it's like one thing after another. So I'm like, we almost there.
And by now, I think the score had went up. So we were like in the clear. We were like over 600, over 6 something.
Mm-hmm. We knew we were good for FHA.
Yeah.
Because we didn't find out until the 99th hour how good LaTrease was. We both played our part. I didn't know until the 99th hour. I knew she was good, but I didn't know she was a beast. So FHA, we just could not get those repairs right. They came out there like twice and they just kept like giving us pushback. And I've sold FHA properties before. I know what they're looking for. I went and inspected. At the last minute, I had a conversation with LaTrease and we decided that we was going to see if she could get it to go conventional. Mm-hmm. LaTrease did some magic, some sorcery. And she, no, some praying for real. She calls me and she says, we got it to go conventional. Literally a day before we were supposed to close on the deal.
Favor ain't fair.
Favor is not fair.
But I think also the fact that my mortgage company knows that I do credit repair, a lot of that worked in our favor. Because typically, if your credit doesn't qualify, the loan is dead. Like, it's just stagnant. But they knew because they've seen what I've done before. I was like, keep the loan going. Like, keep processing it with underwriting. Still go ahead, order the appraisal. They were still doing all the things as it. So that's why nobody knew that we were in the trouble we were in. Because we were still moving like this was just a normal loan. And it was good to go. But
just having 2 people that's ready to ride for you, because it ultimately worked out in her favor because she saved an additional $50,000 because of that situation. It had me back in a space where I had to negotiate, and based on me negotiating, she saved an additional $50,000. They brought less money to the closing table.
She walked into a ton of equity.
Yeah, and she walked into a ton of equity because it appraised like amazingly.
Mm-hmm. So, moral of the story, how important is it to have relationships with the loan companies?
Very important.
Yeah, it's just important to have relationships in general, because I'll give the listing agent like his props. Being able to have a conversation that may be uncomfortable with your client about why this is like financially responsible. That's a big deal. They have been trying to sell that house for a year and a half.
Now, I was going to say, for them to stick through all of that, that would tell me that they was having trouble selling the house.
And then I had the inside line because I had already wrote on the property. I had already negotiated the property, and I understood once they accepted my offer, you know,
lose $800,000 once. You don't want to do it.
Yeah, you don't want to lose it again, especially with the same agent who's bringing you like
qualified.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, that first client was putting down $500,000. She was putting down a substantial amount of money. She put down $500,000 on that house that she purchased from around the corner.
Wow.
Solid buyer. And our client is a solid buyer as well, but we just went through some trials and tribulations.
Just little student loan issues.
But make sure that you are checking
your student
loans. I check mine monthly now because of that situation. Make sure that you are aligning yourself with a lender and a realtor who actually care about their clients, number one, because that's really the root of it. We truly care about our clients, and we don't want to let our clients down. And you want to make sure that realtor is knowledgeable. So that is our scenario with how we got our client who had a 400 or 500 credit score into a $800,000 home. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, share this with somebody that may find it beneficial, and tune in next week.
Dominoes.